Coming up from humble roots as a PC tech demo in the Netherlands, Blob has since swollen up into a respectable action game for the Wii, where paint and platforming collide. Simple but unique, Blob's wacky premise provides a lot of creative freedom. But is there some substance to the art? The chromatic citizens of Radia are under siege by the militaristic might of the INKT, a militia of no-gooders intent on spreading their inky influence throughout the land. But all hope is not lost. Under the dark cloud of oppression rises Blob, a spongy hero spackled with all the colors of the rainbow, and the lone figure poised to take down Comrade Black and his monochromatic minions. This wartime parable of paint is strictly tongue-in-cheek, but does this game really need a gripping story? The revolution will not be televised. It'll be painted on buildings, fences, trees, billboards, and just about everything else. With the bulbous blob at your side, the world is quite literally your canvas. You have to stick it to the man by taking up small acts of virtual vandalism. The more challenges you complete, the livelier the streets grow, eventually paving the road towards new levels and challenges to take on. The mission is simple, and it's facilitated by some conscious design choices. Challenge criteria is direct, and objectives are clearly laid out, with most consisting of painting and then painting some more. Needless to say, variety definitely isn't Blob's strongest suit. Too often you'll find yourself faced with the same task of coloring city blocks a particular color. The occasional stint into racing and combat-based challenges mixes things up a bit, but eventually becomes one big painted blur. Thankfully, the redundancy receives a bit of reprieve with imaginative environments perfect for some paintbrush parkour. Towering skyscrapers and industrial complexes loom over the city, while the trap and ink-infested avenues provide a nice mix of action and combat. It takes a good hour or so to roam through each of the 10 levels, possibly more if you opt to scour the streets for secrets. Blob is glittered with some nice extras, including unlockable challenge stages, hidden bonus content, and an in-game achievement system. Free paint lets you cavort around town without goals and timers to worry about, and Blob Party lets up to 4 players duke it out on a spread of maps and match types in a multiplayer free-for-all. Even if the paint runs a little thin in mission types, Blob smartly caters to a wide audience, and you're bound to find something to enjoy from its array of modes. Sure, Altair knows his way around ledges and Faith's got some fancy moves, but Blob can still hold his own when it comes to making his way around an urban landscape. Thanks to his rubbery texture, he can roll down walls and vault through alleys with ease. Before long, you'll find everyday uses for Blob's list of techniques, from the waypoint-guided Z-jumps to the Ninja Gaiden-like rebounding of chain jumps. There's a bit of a learning curve at first, but before you know it, you'll be ricocheting all over town. As practical as Blob's moves are, there will come a few times when you'll itch for a few more. Mario and Banjo have long mastered the use of the triple and high jump, and for all the buttons and motions that the Wiimote has, there could be more to it. There are some nice touches, however. Mixing paint into Blob requires you to harken back to your kindergarten knowledge of primary colors, while accidentally soaking up some of the ink's toxic miasma requires you to seek refuge in the nearest pool of clean water. Blob's minimalistic control scheme pairs well with its accessible style of play, and though it doesn't take full advantage of what the Wii can offer, it doesn't overextend itself with any useless functions either. Blob easily makes its mark as one of the Wii's most stylish titles, channeling an urban vinyl toy vibe with its cartoony look and pop art presentation. Colors are either reduced to the starkest blacks or the most vibrant spectrums of the rainbow. And for an amorphous glob of plasma, Blob certainly got some personality, as you'll see in the game's plethora of humorous, pre-rendered cinematics. Biggest treat here, though, isn't Blob's kaleidoscopic visuals, but its set of jazz and funk-centric tracks that reactively respond to your in-game actions. Engulfing city blocks in a sea of red yields the brazen brass of a saxophone solo, whereas splashing in some hints of yellow brings the fluttery tune of a flute to bear. It may not sound like much, but riffing back and forth with the paint and music is genuinely fun, and does well to add a keen sense of momentum to your in-game movements. Blob is a game that's just as fun to see and hear as it is to play. Blob's Katamari-like premise is simple, yet compelling, but repetitive challenge types and a general lack of gameplay variety keep it from being essential. Even so, its apt combination of accessibility and features and creative take on video game audio land it in a favorable spot as one of the Wii's more unique games.